Hello and welcome. Subtracting polynomials is our topic for today. To understand the concept, let's try out some examples. The first example says simplify 3r squared plus 4r plus 4 minus r plus 2. To understand this, let's see something else first. When we have two positive signs and when we multiply, we get a positive. When a positive and a negative is multiplied, we get a negative. When a negative and a positive are multiplied, we again get a negative. And when we multiply two negative numbers, we get a positive sign. So here we will be keeping these rules in mind and following our subtracting of polynomials. So let's get started with this example. The first parentheses will come as it is. Now, this is a negative sign outside the parentheses and this is a positive sign. So a negative and a positive, we saw that was a negative. So a negative r. A negative and a positive is again a negative. So negative 2. Now our next step is to find out the like terms. 3r square is I think alone, no like term with this. So we write down as it is. 4r and r are like terms. So we club them together and write down over here. And now we are left with the two constants plus 4 and minus 2. Again they are like terms. Now we combine them. 3r square will again remain independent. 4r minus r, that is 4 minus 1r, which is 3r, and 4 minus 2 is a positive 2. So this is our final answer, 3r squared plus 3r plus 2, which matches to option C. To make it more clearer, let's try another example. We are given 2x squared plus 4x is one parenthesis minus 4x squared plus x plus 1. Now we do the first opening up the second parenthesis, which has a negative sign outside. We try to remember the rules that we learned just now. A negative and a positive, when multiplied we get a negative, so negative 4x squared. Again a negative with a positive, we get again a negative x, and then again a negative with a positive, we get a negative 1. Now we see the process of combining the like terms. 2x squared and negative 4x squared are like terms, so we write down them together. Here it goes. Then we have 4x and negative x as another pair of like terms, and negative 1 is all alone, no other constant, so we write down over here. Now we do our mathematical operations. 2x squared minus 4x squared is nothing but negative 2x squared. 4x minus x is nothing but simply positive 3x minus 1. This is our final answer, and let's see with which option it matches. Negative 2x squared plus 3x minus 1. This is option D. Let's try out the next example. Simplify negative x squared minus 4x plus 4 minus 3x plus 1. Looking forward, let's open up the second parenthesis first, and we use our rules. A negative and a positive is a negative 3x, and a negative multiplied by a positive is negative 1. Now we put the like terms together. First let's get started with x squared. No other x squared term is present, so we write down x squared with the negative sign as it is, minus negative 4x and negative 3x are like terms, so we write down them here, and a plus 4 and a minus 1 are the two constants which are like terms, which which can be written here. Now going further, negative x squared cannot be combined with any other term, so it remains as it is. Negative 4x minus 3x. Two negatives we add and keep the minus sign. Plus 4 and minus 1, that is 4 minus 1, that is simple, positive 3. Now my option C seems to be matching with what we got the answer. So C is the correct answer. Let's look at the next example. Negative x plus 5 minus 4x squared plus x minus 3. The first step remains the same. Now a positive multiplied by a negative, we get a negative 4x squared. A negative multiplied by a positive, I get again a negative. And then a negative, when multiplied by a negative, I get a positive 3. Now combining the like terms, negative 1x or simply x is having another partner, negative x. So we write down together these two like terms. Now we have the constant 5 that matches with 3. So plus 5 plus 3. And negative 4x squared is left all alone, and we write down negative 4x squared here. Now let's combine the two negative 1x's. Will they add up? So they come 2x and we retain the negative sign. Plus 5 plus 3 is 8 and negative 4x squared. Now we write down in the correct order. The correct order will have the square term first, then x to the power of 1 term, that is this one, and plus 8. So this is nothing but negative 4x squared minus 2x plus 8. So let's see which option is this. Negative 4x squared minus 2x plus 8 is option A. So let's look at the next example. Negative 3x squared minus 4x plus 4, with minus sign over here, then 2x squared plus 2x minus 5. Now we write down the first term as it is, the first polynomial. Now the next polynomial, you have to open up the parentheses. A negative and a positive, as we all know by now, is a negative 2x squared. A negative with a positive is again a negative 2x, and a negative when multiplied with a negative is a positive 5. Now the similar step of putting the like terms together. So this is, these two are like terms, so we put them together over here. Then negative 4x and negative 2x is another pair of like terms, so we club them together. 4 and 5 are constants and are like terms, so we put them together. Now let's solve. Negative 3x squared minus 2x squared. Two negatives we add and retain the negative sign. Again two negatives we add and retain the negative sign. Then two positives, 5 plus 4 is 9. So this is our final answer, and this matches to option D, negative 5x squared minus 6x plus 9. I hope subtracting polynomials is getting easier. Oh, now it's a simple example. X minus 2 minus x minus 5. The first parenthesis as it is. The second one now. Negative and a positive is negative x, and a negative is a positive 5. So we club the like terms together. The two x's are the like terms, and the two constants, these two. So x minus 2 plus 5. So this x minus x becomes 0. Negative 2 plus 5, we subtract and keep the sign of the bigger number. So a positive 3, which is nothing but only number 3. This matches to option D. So let's practice another question over here. We have 4x minus 5 minus 2x squared. Let's write down minus 2x squared plus 4x plus 2. So the first polynomial as it is. Now the second one, we have a plus sign here. A negative and a positive is a negative 2x squared. A negative and a positive is a negative 4x. And a negative again with a positive is a negative 2. So let's put the like terms together. 4x minus 4x is one pair of like terms. Let's put it in a color. Negative 5 minus 2 are the constants, which are again like terms, and negative 2x square is left all by itself. So here it is. 4x minus 4x is 0x. Negative 5 minus 2. Two negatives we add, keep the sign of the negative, and minus 2x square. Now we rearrange this polynomial with the x square term first. Now this term becomes 0, so we don't write this, and we are left with only negative 7. So this matches to option D, which is the correct answer. Let's practice one more question. Negative 4x squared minus x plus 2 minus 3x minus 4. Now the first parenthesis will come down as it is. Nothing to do in this. Now a negative and a positive is a negative 3x. Then a negative and a negative becomes a positive 4. So now putting the like terms together, let's see 4x square. No other term is of the x square, so we write down this all by itself. Now we have negative x and a negative 3x. So negative x minus 3x are the two like terms, and a positive 2 and a positive 4 are the constants which are like. Now we solve it further. Negative 4x squared. Two negative numbers, they add up and we keep the sign of the negative. And 4 plus 2 is 6. So my answer is negative 4x squared minus 4x plus 6, which is option A. I hope subtracting polynomials will not be a difficult task anymore. Thank you and bye bye.